Before we get started with today's interview, just a quick reminder, click the thumbs up, make sure you subscribe, and ding the bell so that you don't miss any of the great interviews that we have coming up. Now, on to today's interview. Welcome back, everybody. I'm really excited to introduce my special guest today, Christopher Goldston, awesome, wonderful, renowned composer. Christopher, welcome. Thank you so much for taking time to meet with us today.
And thanks for letting me share with you.
So next we want to talk about the piece Fireworks, which was composed by your mom, Margaret Goldston. So this is a brilliant piece and it has some interesting technical challenges in it. Talk to us a little bit about what things students should be thinking about as they perform this work.
Yeah, this is another one of those pieces that's really old, that my mom wrote at the beginning of her compositional career that she, for whatever reason, just never sent off to get published. The title, at least at the beginning, might not make a lot of sense until you get to the second page and you hear the lights trailing off and all of that. But a couple of things to watch for is on the first page, or to listen for, you have some of those characteristic, interesting harmonies that my mom used, especially earlier in her compositional career. So there are some really interesting harmonies, even despite the level, because it's not very hard. The middle section, though, does have a series of short glissandos going up with the right hand, which could be a little bit of a coordination issue for some younger students. So I did put in the score the manuscript version, which has the glissandos, but I also wrote an optional section that is a third staff, a smaller staff above, which has just, instead of glissandos, it has just a stepwise motion that the students could do as an alternative. And I think it probably would be helpful if students practice both versions, and then they can decide closer to the festival time which version they're going to perform. And if I'm not, I was going to look this up and I didn't have a chance to see, but I believe that I have both versions on YouTube with the glissandos and with the stepwise motion. But with the Follow the Score video, you can see what I mean, how it has, an optional different pattern that you could use instead of the glissandos. The glissandos are fun, though, because you really do hear the lights of the fireworks going off if you do that. So it is fun.
When you work with students to play those glissandi, what are the techniques that you use to teach students how to do that effectively and as painlessly as possible?
Oh, that is a challenge. The main thing is to not dig in. So you want to do it lightly. For these, you're going to have to turn over your hand. You want to make sure that you're using your nail and not using the crook of your fingernail, because you'll rip the skin off. So you might want to, invest in some Band-Aids and even practice while wearing Band-Aids. I know that some teachers even practice using like an index card or a tissue. You could do something like that, or even just getting used to the motion. You could just lightly do a glissando on the keys without playing any notes or without even depressing any notes, because then you're certainly not going to hurt yourself that way. But then you can at least get the timing of the coordination correct.
That's great advice. What are the other things that students should watch out for and really think about as they're learning this piece?
One fun aspect of self-publishing, though, that I can tell you is that since I'm creating PDFs, I can at any time replace the PDF with an updated version if there's ever a mistake or anything like that. And so the first version that I had of this piece had a different piece of cover art. I had it up on my website, but then one day I decided to print out a copy of the piece. And I thought, I don't like the way that looks printed, so I replaced the image.
That's really cool.
It's a fun advantage to self-publishing and using only digital downloads. You're not tied to the stock that you have to keep. I think that this also is just a study in some coordination, because some of the right hand patterns, the melody starts on 4, which is a weak finger. So I think really just practicing slowly and carefully, hands together, to get the coordination. You could always mix it up by practicing the eighth notes with swing eighth notes to put an emphasis on a different finger to help with evenness, and then go back to the even version. So those are things that you could do to help with this piece.
Those are some great insights. Thank you once again for joining us today to discuss your mom's piece, Fireworks. You can find the piece Fireworks on Christopher Goldston's website, which we'll link below, in addition to a video of him performing this work. Thank you, Christopher.
Great, thank you. I'm so glad that students are interested in this work.